try to teach them about. The fall production that we do here, this past year we did Matilda. We have a full 100% student involvement in everything. We have students design the costumes, we have students design and build the sets, we have students do the multimedia part behind it. So it's not just about, oh, I want to be an actor. It's so much more than that. We had a cast and crew of about 60, and there were only about 25 actors. So we had 45 students who were just interested in learning about all the behind the scenes of the lights, all that stuff. So her name is Dr. White, and she provides you with those opportunities in theater. And some people just want to try theater for 6th grade, and then they're like, I don't ever want to do this again. And that's okay. You don't ever have to do it again if you don't like to, but then a lot of people like to stay. If you do think that you have the theater bug in you, we also have a theater troupe that she leads, and so beyond just the class, she'll take a group to competitions, and they will compete in multiple things: costume design, set design, all that, and then also acting. We actually had one 2 weekends ago, and DR Hill came out. We were superior. That's the highest rating in everything we entered. So she's wonderful. If theater is something that you're interested in, I definitely highly recommend y'all signing up for that. All right, the next thing is chorus, and Miss Webster is here, so I'm going to let her talk about chorus.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Miss Webster. This is my first year here at DR Hill as the chorus teacher. Actually came to DR Hill as a student many a moon ago, but maybe not so long ago. So this choir is open to anyone's interested in joining. I don't ask for students to do auditions for me. If you like to sing and you want to try it out, then everyone is welcome, especially at the 6th grade level. It is a performance-based class, so the class each day is, warm up, working on our vocal skills, working on some sight singing skills, and ultimately preparing them for performance in winter if your student is in the fall semester, or in the springtime. Also, additionally, in the springtime, we do offer like a parents trip to students that have shown good skills and can handle an additional trip like that. Students can take choir both semesters, but can also do only one if the schedule doesn't quite allow for it. And then 6th, 7th, 8th, and 8th grade has an advanced group. And if I have some papers if anyone wants to ask me more questions at the end.
Next up is band, and so Mr. Cotter is here to talk about that. He's also trying to be our tech guy, pretty unsuccessfully, but he's an amazing band director, so he's going to make up for it.
Hi, I'm Mr. Cotter. I'm one of the band directors here at DR Hill. Band offers a variety of experiences to learn how to play a musical instrument. We have woodwind classes, which includes flute, clarinet, and saxophone for beginning band. We have our brass classes, which are trumpet, trombone, baritone, tuba, French horn, and then we have a separate percussion class. Don't stand underneath that. All right, there will be, for those of you who are interested in signing up for band, we're actually going to go out to elementary schools and disseminate information with sign-up dates. We have to get with our music companies to set up a date, which will be at DR Hill. There'll be 2 days that'll be here for y'all to come out and test instruments out. Some of you don't know what you want to play, so you'll be able to pick up an instrument, hold it in your hand, look at it, test play it, and decide, yes, this is for me, or no, this is not for me. If you don't make it to one of those 2 nights and you still want to be in band, I would highly encourage you just to sign up for band. It's not too late. We'll get you into a class, and then we'll test you the first couple weeks of school. So don't let, if you can't make it to those two sign-up nights, don't let that discourage you from being in the band class. Thank you.
Next up, we have orchestra, and Miss Lindler is here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shelby Lindler, and I am the orchestra director here at DR Hill Middle School. This is my 3rd year here. We offer an orchestra class to the opportunity to play 4 different instruments. You can learn violin, viola, cello, or bass. You don't have to have prior experience to join class. I'll teach you everything you need to know. you're not able to sign up after the sixth grade. So if you're interested, you need to sign up for sixth grade. Similar to the band, we will be having instrument sign-up nights, and we will get that information out to you when we come and visit you guys at the elementary schools. But at those instrument sign-up nights, you'll be able to test out all four of the instruments and see which one you like the best and which one fits you. And then we will get you signed up for that. And then if you're not able to make it, still sign up for orchestra. We'll get you tested in the first few weeks of school, and then you're good to go.
All right, the next class that we offer is computer apps. We offer multiple computer classes for the students who are really interested in computer and multimedia. We have Google Basics and digital literacy, which is basically teaching the students about Google Drive and the Google Suite and all of the things that Google have to offer. And since every child gets a Chromebook and we utilize Google Suites, it can be helpful when they're learning how to do different multimedia presentations or use Google Docs or Google Sheets, which is the Excel form. The other thing that we offer, and I want to make sure that parents understand how high school credits work here, at the end of your duration here at DR Hill, you can leave with 7 high school credits. So you could already be almost a sophomore, depending on the classes that you take. And we try to encourage students to find something to kind of advance their high school trajectory so that they can get a little bit further ahead. One of those classes is Fundamentals of Computing. The way that we do it here at the middle school level is we divide it into 2 classes. So you take Fundamentals A one semester, and then you take Fundamentals B another semester, and that will get you your whole computer apps credit that is required for high school. But you can still go to high school and still choose electives that you're interested in computer, but it at least gives you that one credit. But I always tell parents, and we're going to have our Spanish teacher and the German is the same, talk about it, because you can also leave with either choosing your German or Spanish track. You can leave with Spanish 1 or German 1 when you're in 8th grade. But when you're doing that here, it's just so important to know that you are starting your high school transcript. And it's kind of really hard to imagine that you're right now an elementary school parent and you're planning for high school, which is 3 years away, but I promise you it's going to be super fast. And so when we enter the children in these classes, that GPA is going to go on their transcript. So you have to talk about it with your student, talk about it with their guidance counselor, and see it's not just about if they are smart enough to do it, but they have to have that responsibility and that dedication to their schoolwork, because if they end with a C in that class, then they're already starting their high school transcript out with a 2.0. And that's not necessarily something that we don't want to set them up for not being successful and lack of scholarships later in life. So you're going to hear this speech a lot, actually. If you sign your child up for that class, you're going to hear this speech a lot. I'm going to say it over and over again because it's just so important to know that it sticks. It's on that high school transcript, and we really want you to leave with an A, because why do it in middle school if you're not going to leave with an A? That's just my philosophy. So you can do that starting in the 7th grade. But however, taking that digital literacy or taking that Google Basics course can help you get set in place to take that fundamentals class. So it's kind of like building blocks. You do not, I get the question all the time, you do not have to take Google Basics or the digital literacy class to take fundamentals in 7th or 8th grade, but you will get this speech again, I promise. All right, next up is Project Lead the Way.
Hello, I'm Ms. McKee, and I teach Project Lead the Way, and I know that started in the elementary schools this year, doing some math, science, engineering, and technology. Sorry, I lost my order. So in 6th grade, there's 2 classes that will be offered. One is Flight in Space, where we look at how an airplane actually gets up into the sky, how it stays in the sky, how it lands, how it turns and does all that great stuff, how they plan flights and having enough staff on the plane. Then we take that into space travel, and we look at how the astronauts live in the space shuttle for extended periods of time, and we make some astronaut food and things like that. And then we end it with doing a mission to Mars, and they have to plan the entire mission, including what the spacecraft will look like, and they get to make models of that. The other class that we will have next year will be Computer Science for Innovators and Makers, which is an introduction to programming, and kids get to do different things with little LED microbits, and they can make little messages and have it pop up and learn just the basics of programming. In 7th grade, they get to take some other classes, design and modeling and medical detectives, and then in 8th grade, they get to take automation, robotics, and app creators. So it kind of leads into more stuff. They do not have to start in 6th grade. They can start whenever they want to. They can pick and choose what they want to take, and then they can choose a path when they get to the high school. And like Dr. Hefner said, it will be here soon, but they get to kind of decide what they're interested in, because they do have some of the medical stuff at the high school as well as the engineering and computer science. I also do the VEX Robotics Club after school, where we design, build, program, and play with a robot to master a game that they have to play, and the game comes out in April every year, and so it has not come out yet, but they will get more information about that at the beginning of the school year if they would like to join.
All right, the next thing we're going to have is we'll have Ms. Pinzone talk about Spanish 1. We share our German teacher with Beach Springs, and they're having this exact same night there right now. And so he is at Beach Springs right now, but everything that she discusses of what happens in her Spanish class happens in the German class as well.
Buenas tardes. I'm Mrs. Pinzone, and I'm going to be the teacher, here at the Hill School. Basically, what you can expect from Spanish class is, getting lots of knowledge about cultures, not only Latino culture, but you can also explore different countries where Spanish is actually the most spoken language, as well as vocabulary, basic phrases, and if you want to move forward, you can also take a Spanish 1 course. That will give you the high school credit that Dr. Principal, that Dr. Hefner already explained. So that's basically what you can expect in Spanish and also in German. So basically lots of conversations, communication skills, listening skills, as well as grammar and vocabulary.
All right, the next class we have is AVID, and Ms. Hughes is going to talk to you about that.
Good evening. Most of your children have been to see me already if they were Welford or Lyman, because they came by and sat in the classes and talked for a few minutes. I didn't get to talk to them much, so I'm going to review this again. And I'm going to get back here because I need to make sure that I hit all the highlights, okay? AVID's open to all grades, regardless of whether you're in this rising 6th grade, rising 7th grade, rising 8th grade. So if you have children in other grade levels, they can join this class. Now, let's see. It does provide, this is a support for academics, okay? So it's a little bit different than other electives, okay? It does provide students with additional academic, social, and the emotional support that they need to succeed in higher level academic courses, such as high school classes in middle school and college courses in high school. Yes, AVID extends to BFA, so it's over there as well. It helps with critical reading and writing, different kinds of writing, public speaking, and all those kinds of things. We have tutorials twice a week, so when the problems get hard, you have a place to come and talk to somebody about it, okay? And students do have to have average to above average grades to be in AVID. So if you're a student, what can you expect? You can expect to work with your classmates. You can expect to learn skills that are going to help you be successful in those tough academic classes. You're going to be taking part in those tutorials. Just because you don't have a question doesn't mean you can't have somebody else answer the question. Okay? You get a chance to go on AVID field trips and explore college and career opportunities. This is a great feature of the AVID elective. You learn note-taking strategies that's going to help you retain information from your classes and add it to your resume. So as you move into high school and beyond, you want to do volunteer work, something like that, the AVID elective is a great thing to have on your resume. Now, I'm going to say this, AVID is not a study hall. It is not.
You can't come in there and say, I have a test next period, can I use this period to study? No. Okay, but if you have a test the next period and you happen to be on tutorial day, then that's great, because that means we can cover a problem that you're continuing to struggle with so that you can be on the test, to do well on the test. And the thing I like about Avid the most is it really sets you up to be successful. If you're an ordinary student and you want to be an extraordinary student, you need to be in my Avid class. If you're a student who is not really well organized and you lose everything, maybe even your shoes, then you need to be in my class, because in order to be successful in middle school and beyond, you have to stay organized. Okay, you can't be losing papers like you do today. And instead of learning to read in elementary school, here we begin to read to learn. So that's a different thought process and you have to take different steps to be able to read to learn. So we do some fun stuff too. There's lots of field trips and choice Fridays where students get choice in what they get to do on that Friday. And there are lots of things where you get to do your own research and study things that you want to study, as long as it fits within the realm of what we're doing for that class. Like, if we're doing college and career, then you can't go over here and study astronomy. That's okay. But could you study and research a college that has an astronomy degree? Yes. So we just have to frame it so that it's in the right place, okay? Your students have already had access to the applications, okay? And if you talk to your student tonight and your child has said, I didn't fill on out because I don't want to do it, but you feel like might be a good idea, I have interest forms over here with pens and papers and you tell me on here your name and address, and let me know what school you are currently attending, so I can let them know that you were interested and we can give that application to your student, okay? The next class I'm going to talk about is art, and she was unable to be here tonight, but we have a basic art class that is in 6th and 7th grade. You do not have to have art skills, you just have to have a love and a desire to be in that class, and she will help you expand on your skills. However, art is one of those classes that I discussed, that you can leave with a high school credit. And so in the 8th grade, those of you who in the elementary school have been labeled or recognized as artistically gifted, you can take advanced art in 6th and 7th grade, and then you can take Art 1, which is a high school level class, and you can end with, you can have that on your high school transcript as well. You have to be in that class, the advanced class, in that class you have to be artistically gifted, and if you're in creations right now, then that would be you. So that is an option for you as well. Another question that I get a lot is, can I take the same class over and over? You can, and so this is where I really encourage parents to be involved with the conversation. The next step that will happen, and I'll mention this at the end, is you're going to get a list of classes and you'll help your students sign up. And you'll circle, first choice, second choice, all that, so that we can code it. But I really encourage parents to be involved, because if your student does just want to take art and then be in band school year, but take art the other 2 classes, they have to take PE, and he'll chat in a minute, but they can just keep taking art and then not ever explore anything else. And that can be their way. Or they might not realize that they really do like STEM, and they might need a little nudge. So I definitely encourage you to chat with your child about what classes they're thinking about. And then I'll also, it's time for PE, Coach Arpoir, there we are. And then I'll talk to you about what happens when you get into a class and you're like, this is not really what I wanted.
Good afternoon or evening. I'm Coach Arpoir. I'm one of the 2 PE teachers. Just give you a quick overview of what to expect to be. It's a required class, so I will see majority of y'all each year. We do the typical PE games, so kickball, soccer, ultimate frisbee, ultimate football, but we also like to include things that maybe your child has never been exposed to. So we have lacrosse equipment, we do floor hockey, we do geocaching. A few things that we get asked questions about a lot is we do not require uniforms to participate in PE, but we we do ask that your students come ready with the proper footwear, tennis shoes, and athletically appropriate clothing. So that could be jeans, as long as they fit properly and can bend down and touch your toes whenever we're stretching. Or it could be a t-shirt, as long as whenever they reach their hands up over their head, we don't see belly button. All right? So we're really easy with the restrictions of what they can and cannot wear, as long as it's school appropriate. Our main goal in PE is to introduce them to new activities, maybe get them excited about something that they have not been previously exposed to. Improve team skills. We constantly change up what team you're on. So just because they're on this team this week, next week they might have 5 new teammates. So learning how to work as a team. And last but not least, to strive for lifelong health and wellness. So that's about all I have for PE. If you have any questions, then I'll be available. Thank you.
All right, the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is classes that you may be required to take. Well, first of all, let me piggyback on what he said. If you end up taking 2 full-year classes, and this is another thing to discuss amongst yourselves. So let's say that you want to play an instrument and you're in band, and then also you want to be an AVID, because AVID is a year-long course, band is a year-long course. You are required by the State Department to take PE every year. So that means that you are enrolled in virtual PE. I am currently a mother of someone in virtual PE, and it is interesting. And so I'm telling you, it is a team effort. And so you are part of that team, parents. So if your child is, they really want to take 2 classes that happen to be year long, and we see it a lot in the 8th grade, because they want to take Spanish 1, they want to take German 1, they want to take Art 1, they're in band, they're in orchestra, they're in these year-long classes, and they still have to take PE credit, and so you will be able to experience virtual PE. That teacher is in our district, and he currently is at Corner Chapel, I think, and he does all of the virtual PE in all the middle schools, so it's not anything to be afraid of, but just know that you will be a part of that team. The other thing is there are exploratories that you may be required to take. If your child is someone who needs special services, and so they may have an IEP, they will have their academic seminar as a class. So right now at the elementary school, I know what they do at Lyman, and I'm assuming Welfare is probably similar, is the teacher will take them out of the class, and they go to the special ed classroom maybe for 30 minutes a day, and then she takes them back to the classroom, and all is well. Well, now here it's an actual class. So that now is taking up one of those options, because you are required to be in that class. So you won't be able to choose that. Also, if your child receives ML services, because English is their second language, they may have to be in that class. The other class that we have that may be required is reading and math intervention. And depending on reading and math scores, your child may be put in that before they're put into their other class. So let's say that they received a score that would qualify them to be in reading or math intervention, and they're supposed to take art. They would start off the year in reading and math intervention. They would go there 5 days a week for 45 minutes, so it's pretty intensive. It's a little bit more than what they do at the younger levels. It's every single day, 45 minutes. And they will have a goal that they need to achieve, and once they achieve that goal, then they can go back to art. There are students that achieve their goal at the 9-week mark. You have to stay at least 9 weeks, and then they go on to art or wherever they're wanting to go. And then there are some that stay the whole 16 weeks. You will be placed in that based on the end of the year test and iReady at the end of the year, so we won't be able to tell you if you're going to be in that class in May. So you will, when the guidance office sends you, your forms that you sign up for things, you'll still sign up for all the things that you desire. However, when you get your schedule, when you come in August and you're meeting the teachers, you might see it says math intervention or reading intervention. And that's just because we want to get your children on grade level. I mean, that's our goal. We want them to have fun and explore all of these wonderful classes, but at the end of the day, I really need them to be able to read and do math, right? And I hope that's how you feel too. So they will be put in those classes, and then if they achieve their goal, they'll be able to go out. Okay, at this time, I was going to allow whole group questions, because the thing that's going through your brain might be something that goes through somebody else's brain, and then you'll have the opportunity to go talk to any particular teacher that you're interested in. So do I have anyone who has any questions that they want to share out?
0. Can't be. All right, yes, ma'am. And then, oh, yes, I was going to tell you. Okay, so let's say that you love theater, or you think you do, and you get into that class, and we want you to stay in there for about 2 to 3 weeks, okay? Because that first week of school, we are just getting acclimated to the schedule, and now you're changing classes 6 times a day, right? So we have to get over that, and so you stay in for about 2 to 3 weeks, and you're still like, I gave it a good old college try, I cannot. Your child will then hopefully have talked to you, but talk to your their guidance counselor, and then the guidance counselor at that point will be able to look up what their other interests were. However, if their other thing might be they wanted to go to Miss McKee's class, but Miss McKee's class is full, we can't override that. So that's why it's very important for you to have those conversations, and just if you know that you're not liking it, maybe start communicating with your guidance counselor pretty early on, so you can say, I just don't think this is going to work out. I'll also tell you that we do not change classes after the 4.5-week mark. So that's the interim, that first report card, or the first little interim, it's not a report card, the first interim you get, first semester and second semester. We do not change. And so, because after that, it's, I know that you might find this hard to believe, but sometimes we change because we want to be with our new boyfriend, and then that relationship fizzles, and then we, want to go back, and we don't do that. So we don't accommodate those kinds of things. We stay in the class that we chose because we're here to learn and not do all that. All right, next question. Yes. So what should happen is in the next month or so, the guidance counselor at Lyman and Welford should be meeting with y'all, and you'll send a form home. It'll have everything listed, and you'll do first, second, third choice, all that, and then you'll send it in to them. And we will already have their schedules pretty much set by the end of June, with the exception of math and reading intervention. So everyone should, the bulk of people should have their schedules done by then. I will tell you that it's very important to be looking out for that, and if we go a couple more weeks and you're not sure, reach out to your guidance counselor and say, hey, when are these coming home? Because I noticed the children coming up from beach, we had lots of children who the parents didn't sign off on them because they didn't know they were coming home. So you have to sign off on it. And again, I know it sounds like a broken record, but have those conversations with your students. There are certain classes that I, as a mom, when I'm in my mom hat, I wanted my child to take. And so, we had those conversations, and then there were things that she wanted to take. And so we had this back and forth. And it's just really important because they're going to be in that class the whole time, whereas, at the elementary school right now, they're exposed to all of it. So if they really, really like art, try to get them in that one. That's the number one that gets filled real quick. So if you know you really want art, make that your first choice if possible, because it fills up the quickest. All right, yes, ma'am. Well, and that's okay if you're not where you're supposed to be. We have teachers here that's going to help you get there. Yes, ma'am. The only way to be in virtual PE is if you're taking 2-year-long classes. So that would be the only, and the guidance counselor will reach out to you. And that happens a lot, especially if you do have a child who is in band or orchestra. It happens a lot with band and orchestra because we want them to be in band and orchestra, but we also want them to be physically fit. And so then maybe they also have to take, they have an IEP and they have to take the class. So they have to do that by law. They want to be in band. We want to accommodate those things, so then you do the virtual PE. But the guidance counselor will let you know that. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So certain classes are only offered one semester, one being honors drama. I know that. She only offers it in the fall. So if that's one of your first choices, we will accommodate the schedule in that way. So you don't necessarily choose the classes based on when you want to take them. You decide what you want to take, and we figure out when you can take them. They do a basic typing, but digital literacy, a lot of it is safe internet practices and, exploring the internet in a way that is conducive with learning and not necessarily bad things. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Say that one more time. What is it? Oh, yes. So gifted, we have, if your student has been identified as gifted, they will be placed in the English and or math based on what they are identified as. So I would believe that chances are they might be in a gifted class, and you may not know what they're gifted in. But if your child is only identified as gifted English, they will be in the English. If they are only identified in math, which is an M, they will go to the gifted math. And then if they are identified as a B, which is both, they will be put in both classes. Now, we do allow overrides if their test scores, so that iReady, I know everyone loves iReady every day, I love iReady, but those iReady scores are really important because you have to have a certain iReady score and end of the year test score if you are not identified as gifted to go in there. The other thing that we offer is if you want your child to be in those higher level classes, especially in the 7th and 8th grade, because like I was saying, you can have more high school classes, you can take geometry, you can take Algebra 1, and English 1. Those are the three content classes that you could take. If you do not qualify based on test scores or being academically gifted, but you decide to sign up with Avid, we let you be in those classes. So if you're not identified, your scores do not say what the district says, but you're willing to put your child in the Avid class so that she can support. And we have several students who did that this year, and they're rocking it out in Algebra 1 and English 1. So it does come highly recommended if your student has kind of what it takes for those classes, but might need a little bit of extra help. Anything else? Well, we are all available for personal questions. I know I'm not really an asker in large groups. I prefer just being by myself. So we're up here if you have any questions. And if you have any questions that have nothing to do with electives, but you're just dying to know about middle school, I'm more than happy to answer those questions as well. And